Hello, how are you? Welcome to this training, how to produce more time and money in your business using outsourcing. My purpose in this training is to give you a quick glance to the magical world of outsourcing and show you the results that you can get using outsourcing and you may not know exist. My name is Adi Nazar, and I specialize in find, filter, and managing freelancers all over the world until we get to the outcome you, as a client, want. I'm going to share with you in this training, I think it's the secret sauce, my mindset when I manage my outsourcing, and when you will apply the rules I share with you, I believe you can get the same results. So the reason I am so happy to give this training is because I know from talking with many business people that outsourcing was the point they experienced a huge leap in their business. I am not talking only about more income, no more money. I'm talking about more time to have joyful moments with your family and other people that you love. Not to mention that I believe outsourcing is much more than making more money or more time. It's a way to make dreams come true, but we will get there. So let's start the training. What is outsourcing? Outsourcing, in its simplest idea, is to give away activities that take us too much time and energy so we can focus on the activities that are most important to us and bring us most income. One of the best ways I found to demonstrate the power of outsourcing is this. How much of your weekly plan is dedicated to the activities you're the best at and make the most money from, and how many of the activities that you do bring you less money? Let's make it more real, okay? For example, let's say your rate when you do the activity that you're the best at. What is your rate? Let's say it's $250 per hour, okay? Cool. Now, imagine that most of your time is dedicated, most of your weekly time is dedicated to the activities that bring you $250 per hour. Now, all the rest of the activities that bring you less than $250 per hour, you let someone else do it. Now, what will happen is over time, you will have more and more time available. Then you can become more available to become better in what you do. Therefore, you become more expensive because maybe you will get better. When you get better, you do things better and faster, and your rate goes up, and you can even in the rest of the time spend more time with the people you love. So outsourcing is the ability to give away, to let someone else do the activities that you're not so good at and focus on the activities that bring the best results and the best income, and just you free yourself from the things that you don't really like to do. So cool? Great. Let's face, this is one of the biggest challenges I recognize with business people. They don't know how to use outsourcing. They know it's good, they know it can help them, but they don't understand all the options that are available for them using outsourcing. So they don't know how many things they can give outsourcing and free themselves. So I found a way to help everybody. And the way is for the 4 lists tool. Okay, 4 lists means you write down each of the lists I'm going to talk about, and then you can take the weekly activities and write them down so you can understand where you are and what you will want to outsource. So I will divide it to different kind of lists, so just write down the lists and understand which one goes where. First list, tasks you don't want to do. It can be tasks like posts blogs to your blog, or posts status over Facebook. It can be people that don't like the technical stuff, and this whole thing just makes them feel anxious. So these kind of activities, tasks, you can let someone else do it. You can even, if you can get if you like to write newsletters but don't like to upload them to the newsletter system, things like that. Okay, cool. The next list is tasks you don't know how to do. I don't know how to do video editing. I don't know how to build sites, so I hire other people to do this for me. It means tasks that you don't know how to do and you don't have any interest, energy, or time to learn how to do them. So this is the second kind of list. The third kind of list is tasks you feel like you shouldn't do. What does that mean? It means when people ask you questions over Facebook, how much this product costs? Can I get a special price if I buy 30 of your books? When is the next workshop? Can I get a special price if I go with a group? You understand, it's basic questions about your service or the product you provide. And you can do it, but you don't have time to do it, because in the time you do it, you can do many other more important things, and someone else can do this for you. It means also answering people over email. Okay, so these are the things that you feel like you shouldn't do. The fourth kind of list is tasks you like to do and yet they take too much time and energy. What does that mean? In this part, I put in people who really like to challenge themselves. Let's say there is a coach and he really wants to edit videos. He really wants to understand how to do the video editing, and he takes the time and he works on it, and they gives it about work on it a week, even 2 weeks. He cracks it, he understands how to do it, and gets really good at it. And then that point I say, okay, you're really good, you understand the outcome you want. Now this is time to step aside, focus on coaching people, and give someone else do the video editing. Because in this point, the services and the products you can produce while you work on the video editing takes too much time. You need to, at some point, to get back to what you're really good at, and when you're really free yourself from the video editing, for this example, you can increase your influence, your impact in the world. So at some point you just have to let go of things that you really care about and you got really good at, but it takes too much time and energy, and there are things that you are way more better than them, like in coaching. I just took this example. Okay, so these are the 4 lists. It's the very first step to understand how to outsourcing. how to take things to outsource, to understand what you like to do, what you don't like to do, what is more urgent to give away. Generally, I suggest to give away something that is really time consuming and it's not so dangerous. I will explain it. If I want someone else to do Facebook, social media, but paid ads, I believe business people need first to understand how it works so they can supervise on the people that do it for them. Same thing with accountant. Learn how to deal with the bills, to understand to do it right, so you can hire the people, you can supervise on the people that will do that for you. So you can't just let someone else do this job for you and just take this away from me. It's not safe, it's not the right thing to do, and we just need to understand how things work, not let someone else do it and just in a way that we can feel we can run away from. We need to understand about our business. Okay, so the blocks people have when they think about outsourcing. One of the blocks is, why should I do outsourcing if I can do it myself? So this part is from 4 Hours of Work a Week by Tim Ferriss. I really love this part. It explains a lot, so I share this with you. The answer is why, for the question of why to do outsourcing when I can do it all by myself. The answer is because the goal is to release your time so you can do better and bigger things in it. I will repeat it because it's so important. Because the goal is to release your time so you can do better and bigger things in it. Though you can always do a certain thing by yourself in a lower rate, it doesn't mean you actually need to do it. If you invest your time when your rate is $250 per hour, doing a task that someone else will be happy to do it in $50, you are simply using your resources in the wrong way. I want to give you a glance to the world where you dare to make a step toward the situation where you pay other people to do the tasks for you. It's essential to improve your business and result, to improve your personal life. I couldn't say it any clearer. I totally agree with Tim Ferriss. Let's go to the second block. I want to give away tasks, but I'm afraid to give them away. Well, there are actually a few situations that I will describe you. Positions, situations. Let's start. The first situation is where you understand that you are not really the best in everything. There are certain things that others are much better than you in them, and maybe you know what is the result that you want to get, but not necessarily know the best way to get there. You see, there are things you can do by yourself, but they will take you, let's say, 20 hours, and if you give it to someone professional, it will take them 1 hour. So just take it into consideration. You can be really good in many things, but you can't be the best in everything. Even if you can be the best in everything, it's not very smart or healthy to do everything. Just concentrate, focus on what you're the best at. And the second situation is a situation when you have to give away tasks in order to grow. There is a certain level when we can do so much, and the we get more and more clients and we feel like it's the time to grow and we can expand and serve more people. But if we don't let go, if we don't outsource, if we don't give other people the opportunity to help us, we can't grow the business. We're only human beings. It means this is the situation when you understand you're just a human being. There are too many tasks and too much time while you can there are too many tasks to do and very specific amount of time, and you can already produce bigger income and get better results and produce bigger impact and influence more people. If you feel there is such an activity in your business, here is a challenge for you, an exercise, okay? How much money you lose every month, how much time you invest every month in this activity, that you can invest in activities that bring you much more money. You see, sometimes people have the fear in this situation to give away tasks, to give to someone else to do these tasks, because they feel like they know how to do this activity the best way. And I say, you're right. No one will do the task as well as you. And yet, for your growth, for the growth of your business, even 70% is good enough. So what to do? Find a freelancer, teach, train them. Train them to do the task in the way that you like, to get the result you're looking for until they get better, until they become better. Just hold it. You will see they don't do it at the beginning at 100%, but you have to learn how to let go. Otherwise, you will limit your growth, you will limit your income, you will limit your impact, you will limit your influence, and the world is waiting for you to grow and share more of your gifts and talents. So, I hope you will listen to my advice. There are two big outsourcing sites. There are actually more. Yeah, these are the best known sites. Each of them is different, so I will go one by one. I will start with Fiverr, even though I see Upwork as the first, because it will be easier. Fiverr, in my opinion, is created out of the idea to supply office services in $5. Every service like this is being called a gig. Now, in my perspective, when you earn about $5, even less, but let's say $5 per gig, from the freelancer perspective, it says that if they want to get a good income from this site, they need to make as many gigs as possible just to make a living, okay? So, in my feeling, Fiverr is better for things that are that have template, that repeat, like video intro and things like that. Things that don't require creativity much, things that don't require developing a relationship, not long-term projects. Now the difference is, in Fiverr, the freelancer sets the price for the gig. I can, as a client, contact the freelancer and ask for custom-made offer, but the control over the budget is from the freelancer perspective. Now, the other side is being called Upwork, and Upwork is considered one of the biggest, if not one of the biggest. And I consider it more relationship-centered, relationship between the freelancers and the clients. You can even, I get it very, very often, freelancers that ask to work with me over Upwork and really tell me they look for long-term relationships, something that I usually will not get from Fiverr freelancers. Now, Upwork is built differently. I'm the one who opens the project for free. I can invite freelancers to the project. I decide the budget I am ready to pay for the project. I can set it to be fixed price or hourly. I can set milestones and lower my risk. I can put the money in third party. So me and the freelancers are protected. So it's much more way that I have the power, and in Upwork I will not release the payment until I'm satisfied. So me and the freelancer, we are protected. When I hire someone from our work, even when I put the money aside. So I don't have it anymore. It's in the escrow, and the freelancer will not get payment until I'm satisfied. So we're all protected, and that's what I love about it. So cool. Let's move on. My attitude towards outsourcing. From my point of view, outsourcing is a way to realize dreams and make change in people's lives. Here is an example. You see this illustration? This is a fairy, which is a very, very beautiful fairy. Now, a client of mine wanted to create a store in Etsy. It required, as a start, to produce about 100 illustrations like this, okay? Now, the person who made this illustration lives in Ukraine. And she was at the beginning of her school days. And for 2 weeks, we trained her to make the kind of illustrations the client wanted. We didn't want anyone to make any illustrations. We wanted to be in the style my client wanted to do. Now, why my client didn't create the illustrations? For a couple of reasons. One, she couldn't produce the illustrations in the amount, in the quantity she needed for Etsy, because she's only one person and didn't have the time. And second, she didn't know how to do it technically. This is why I love outsourcing. How other people. She drew it using a pencil, and the illustrator from Ukraine actually made it into a digital product, which is amazing. So we worked with her for about 2 weeks until we got to a point where we saw she understand what we needed. And from then on, we got 10 illustrations every 2 weeks. Cool, right? Every time we would encourage her and thank her for her good work, about her creativity. And one day, after about 6 months of cooperation, I got a message over Skype that says this: "Thank you for your kind words. I really feel how my confidence grow with you. I believe in my talent and the fact I have something valuable to give to the world." Now, you see, I have freelancers around the world that tell me how grateful they are for the opportunity to work with me. Because for the, let's say, $20, tens of dollars, whatever it is, $30, $50 they get for a product, they can do something they love. They have money to buy food for the kids. They can grow the self-esteem. They can go to first vacation ever. They can buy a pet they are dreaming about for years. They grow their self-esteem, as I said. So outsourcing is way more than find, I don't know, someone cheap to do your work. It's about making dreams come true. It's about celebrating creativity. And in a way, I found out people grow their self-esteem and confidence using this amazing tool. So let's move on. This is Yuval Abramovitz, who did a lecture in TED about his project, The List. Using outsourcing, you can translate videos to many languages. Now imagine your videos are spread in many languages. There are so many video editors that will be happy to help you achieve that. Now, a client of mine asked for help to do image editing for her business. And during a day, I believe, we tested a few freelancers until she chose the best ones. Then we explained them using very clear instructions. What is the outcome she wants? Now here you can see the images. The upper one, the top is the before, and the lower one at the bottom is the after. So after we trained the freelancer, he knew how to do the work already. It means we can send images every few days and they will know what to do when the training is over. So this is really cool. Next thing is this book I really wanted to read. And to be honest, from all the books I have to read, I didn't have time for this one. But it's because it's not top priority. Yet I really wanted the exercises in it. So I found a book in YouTube. I opened the project and found somebody from Russia, I believe, who was really happy to read the book and to do it for me. After 3 days, I got a Word document and messages that she learned a lot from this book, and grateful that she got the opportunity to get to know this book through me. So these are so many ways to open your mind to the possibilities that you may didn't think about using outsourcing for. And this is why I love outsourcing. It's never ending. The opportunities land. So it's really, really cool. I hope you got a few ideas of what the possibilities and how you can enjoy from outsourcing. Next thing. Well, from my point of view, there is a very important rule that I'm going to share with you. But first I want to remind you something that I learned a long time ago and I still remind myself. Success is built from 90% mindset and 10% techniques. Managing outsourcing is actually very easy from the technical perspective, but I believe the mindset is what can bring amazing results. So mindset is the real key in my opinion. And my first rule in outsourcing is I work only with who is happy to work with me. If someone isn't happy, I can feel it right away. It's very clear in the words they are using, the way they communicate with me. I can feel it. Like you feel it when you work with people around you. You feel when they do you a favor, and you feel it when they really feel the pleasure of working with you. Now, why it's so important, in my opinion, to work with people who work with me, because if they are happy, I will see it in the quality of the work. And that's crucial. So let's move on. Be clear. This is very, very crucial, because if you don't follow this rule, outsourcing can cost you a lot more money than you plan. The rule is to be clear, very clear. I mean, know exactly what you want from the freelancer. It's being clear as you talk with a first grade kid. Well, you will talk very clearly to them, explain them very clearly, so it's the same level. This is what it requires in the beginning when you train a freelancer, okay? Because if you're not very clear, you will have to explain yourself to the freelancer, and maybe you will have to fix them again and again and again. And after a few days or a few fixes, the freelancer will run out of patience and you will be exhausted as well, and they can possibly ask for extra payment, which means everybody lose, because he is already exhausted from this, and you not only exhausted, but you're being asked for more money. It was supposed to be way cheaper, and it's something you can avoid. I can tell you it already happened to me in the past that the client wasn't clear enough, and the cost of the project was at the end a few times higher than originally planned. And when you're very, very clear, chances less misunderstanding and more joy and fun to work together. It requires training, it requires to practice. It's possible, it's just asking yourself, am I truly clear? Can I be even more clear? A second grade kid will understand me, things like that, and you just can't practice that. So let's move on. Third rule, it actually goes from the second rule of being clear. The third rule is to be very, very responsive, quick response. From the moment the freelancer responds to you, start the process, explain the task, check they understand, and only then you hire them. Don't open a project and then don't talk to them about a week and then come back, because they will see you differently, most of them, not all of them. Because when you take things fast and communicate fast and move forward fast, the freelancers, even in the subconscious level, they understand they have they'll deal with somebody serious, someone who is supervising them, someone who is around, and it's good, it's serious, and they feel like, okay, there's someone serious around me. When we take the time, it will send a message, in my opinion at least, that they can take the time. It's not so hurry. They can answer if they want, they can answer if they don't want, because it took you about a week to write them, okay? So it's important to be with quick response. Next rule, it's a privilege to work with me. Win-win for both sides. From conversations I did with people about outsourcing, I saw a fear around how to deal with the freelancer. Many business people were scared the freelancer will go. So I have a rule, and forgive me for saying it this way, but no one is doing me a favor. I really believe it's an opportunity to work with me. I give money, I invest in them, I help them kickstart. I give them many times the first opportunity to get into the freelancing world, and the freelancer needs work. We both need each other. So if they won't be happy to work with me and like to work with me, I will certainly find someone else who will. Why? Because I decided, because I'm certain there is someone good enough that will be happy to work with me. And I need somebody to be happy to work with me, because I believe it influences the quality of the work. And that's always what happens. I always find someone who is happy to work with me and grow with me and happy to be with me. So, cool. Criteria to choose freelancers. When we choose to work with freelancers, we need to be aware of a few factors. First, the time zone. How important it is to communicate with the freelancer in real time. There are tasks and roles that we can let the freelancer do, even in different time zones, like, as we said, photo editing, image editing, okay? I don't need him to be with me all the time. But on the other hand, there are tasks that I may need someone to be available to me in real time. Let's say answering phones, or maybe site building that I need them to work with me tight. So I need to see what are the tasks I need to take care of, and therefore I will be able to understand which country I need. Culture. There are many countries that with different cultures, meaning places where people are more dedicated to work and less dedicated to work. It's about English level, if they understand the English well or not. I found out the people that it's easy to work for me using trial and error. So I suggest that you do that. Find the countries that are easy for you to work with, that you can connect with, that you understand their culture, how to manage them. But I give you this point just to consider. Okay. Internet. There are places in the world when the internet is stable, such as USA, and places where it's less stable, such as India. So it's important to be aware and check this with the freelancer. How stable is the internet level? Okay? English level and intelligence. It's very important to see how they logically, how they answer the questions. Logical, relevant answers to our questions, or you feel like they repeat themselves and there is not so relevant. You can understand this just by doing a simple conversation with the freelancer. So cool. Let's move on. Now we chose a freelancer. How to guide them, how to train the freelancer. One of the things that take time from the moment we hire a freelancer is the training. And I personally think that visual ways save a lot of time and energy, so I do screenshots using Word, the Word applications by Microsoft, but there are more ways to do it, so I'm going to suggest them to you. First is the writing. Let's say I'm opening a Word file and I do the screenshots. Now I need to describe in writing the task and the deadline, so it will be clear. This task will be something like that. I need a collection of at least 30 companies in the US that know how to take an existing video and make it viral. I ask for every company to write a name. I ask to write the name of every company in the Excel file, URL, and link for the portfolio. Now is the description of the task. Since it's urgent, please start right away. Stop after 2 hours and update me and send me the results. The final deadline for this project is 2 days from today. In case you can't do it or you have any questions, please update me so I can find a solution. This part is very important. I asked for update after a certain amount of time, though sometimes I ask update out of the blue. I don't ask it ahead. I just ask after 2 hours after I hire if there is any update. About questions is very important because I believe, maybe I'm wrong, but I believe that when I ask a few times if there are any questions, they feel more free to say they run into a problem. When I get the earlier they tell me they run into a problem, I can find a solution faster. Okay? So this was a task and a deadline. The second way to do it is using audio. It's not only audio. In Skype you can do a screen share. But it can be really cool because you can talk with the freelancer and at the same time to show the screen and what you want. It just requires to find time that both of you are online and have a stable internet connection. So cool? Cool. Third option is video training. This is one of the most popular ways to train freelancers because it saves a lot of time and energy. You prepare the video once and can send them for every freelancer that you train. Now, I recommend to do it using a program called Screencast-O-Matic, which I wrote you over here. It costs about $18 per year. And after the video is ready, you can send it using WeTransfer, which is a free version, but for a very certain size. So look for it and find a way to make a very certain size, not to pass the free version weight size. So cool. So, instructions, how to guide a freelancer. The first one is to check, the instruction to guide a freelancer, from the moment they apply. So, I first check for understanding. Check if there is any communication, understanding from the other side, if they understand instructions. For example, if we talk about image editing, I can even give him an image to edit and tell him put in the background, remove the background and put red dots. Just for example, yeah, just to see they can follow and understand simple instructions. The second part is to give very clear and precise instructions. Talk as if you were talking to a first grade kid. Practice, be as clear as possible. At the beginning, many times when I talk about this with clients, they tell me, but it's so basic, the instructions, and I say, yes, it is. But that's how you do it at the beginning. You're very clear, you're very precise, very basic, until you get to a point when they totally understand you. But to get to the point they understand, we need to be very clear and very precise, because we're talking about virtual freelancers around the world. It's different than working with someone in your country, or picking up the phone and meeting them in person. It's different, so this is the price of different. We need to work at the beginning in being very, very clear. Third point, ask for an update. Ask for an update after every few hours of the task, because when you do this, you give the freelancer first the feeling there is someone is in charge. Second, they can tell you, you know what, you're right, I started to work on this task and it's not for me. It's possible. So when you ask it, they will feel very free to do it. They can tell you, oh my God, yes, there is a question that just came up and I wanted to ask you. So instead of giving them the opportunity to be initiative, I come from my point, from my stand of view, from my place and ask them, because I don't want to get surprises. And I want them to remember the project with me. Second, next point is set a deadline. Now, I set a fake deadline because I always want to give myself enough time to fix it if the project wasn't done the best way possible. So I set a deadline, and after set a deadline, the fake deadline, I have enough time to fix and I feel confident it will get done in time. Next point, prioritize. When you have a few tasks, prioritize them to the freelancer so they know how to plan their time between all the tasks that they need to do. And this is my opportunity to say thank you. I really hoped that I opened you a world of of opportunities, of possibilities. Outsourcing is a magical world. It can help you make more money and time and do good to people all around the world. I have three kinds of services. The first is I have a digital course that's called Let the World Work for You. The second service I have is I help businesses to outsource. I manage the outsourcing for them. I manage the projects. And the third kind of service is I help I help business owners. I can remember the 4 lists we talked about at the beginning in this training. Well, I have years of experience of managing freelancers, and I have the ability to see options, possibilities that not all the people have. So what I love to do is look all about all the activities the business have and help you find ways to outsource things that you didn't think about. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine contacted me, and she had someone from the United States that told her about $5,000, and she asked me to find a solution. And surprisingly enough, I found someone from the Philippines who is collecting that, and was very, very happy to call and email to this woman, and really felt like he was doing justice and part of something very important to bring good to the world. Now, this kind of a solution, I didn't even think it's possible using outsourcing. I just tried and opened my mind, and this is one of my greatest strengths. I find solutions for outsourcing that not always other people see. It's the reason that it's where my 5 years of experience of working with hundreds of businesses brought me to where I am today, that I know how to find solutions where people don't know solutions even exist. So this is my expertise. Thank you so much for being with me. And under this video, you will see a link to the website where you can contact me. And thank you so much for investing your time for this training. And I'll hope to hear from you very soon. Goodbye.